Greetings. Today I want to speak to you concerning the mind and how the mind is your richest resource. Therefore, you need to tap into this most resourceful place. And this most resourceful place is within you. Therefore, you must take control of this vital place. In short, I'm saying that the first thing you have to do is learn to take control over your mind. And most likely, you're going to do that if you know who you are. So most people who do not know who they are, it is most likely that they do not know how the mind really works. And that is why they think the way they think, and that's the reason why they do the things that they do and why they get the results that they do get in their life. But I want you to focus on how important the mind is and how it becomes the most richest resource that you have possession of. Now, for a moment, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see the biggest or the highest building in your town or your city. See it in your mind's eye. See the name of that building in your town or your city. And if you can see that building in your mind's eye, and you know that whoever owns that building is a rich person, then I've proven my point to you, and you would have proven it for yourself. Also, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see a pile of money in whatever currency that you're using in whatever country you are living. And if you can see a stash of money and you can see the particular currency, then I would have proven my point once again. That your richest resource is your mind, which means that money was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagined. It is a replica of the mind. In other words, it's a manifestation of our inner conversation, our meditation, what we envision, what we think about most of the time. Also, you would realize that you are money and that your real currency is actually your thought frequency. And the illustration I use concerning the building, that building before it was built, it was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagined. It was first in the mind of someone. And that person had to believe in themselves. It means that they had to have control over their mind. So, your richest resource is your mind. It's the pearl of great price. That is why you have to take control of your mind and do not let other people govern your mind. Now, in every country on the face of this planet, there is a system set up that is called a political system or a governmental system. And it is where they are about governing your mental. That's their mission. That's their motive, to govern your mental. And in order to govern your mental, they make sure they set up a system to indoctrinate you from a very young age. And it's called school. Is actually a mental prison where they rob you from the power of your imagination, from the power of you operating in your mental faculties like your will and your perception, your intuition, your imagination, your reasoning, your perception, and they keep you in the realm of memory where you regurgitate things over and over and over. And so they teach you what to think, but they never teach you how to think. But I'm here to remind you that your greatest and richest source or resource is your mind. And that is why you need to understand that the Bible is mental, it is psychological, and the Bible was used to control many people around the world minds. Therefore, if something can be used as a tool to control your mind, then someone who understands how to use that tool can use reverse psychology, and they can use that same thing to unravel the mystery to help you to free your mind from mental slavery. So all the people who think that they are smart and they are so spiritual and they're using certain mythology to tell you that is the strategy, I'm saying to you, that's the reason why I always use the Bible to scare some people away, because these are not the kind of people, those are not the kind of people that I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the people who would realize that anything can be used to brainwash you. That same thing can be used to free you. It's called reverse psychology. Okay? So, when you realize that the Bible addresses the human mind and it must be interpreted psychologically, then you start to use it differently and you start to read it with a different understanding. That's why I'm teaching you to understand the Bible metaphysically, esoterically, and psychologically. And there are some people who think that they're so smart and they're so versed in Kemet and they're so versed in all the other information that is out there, that the very moment they hear you mention the Bible, they've been turned off. And they fail to realize that they have been programmed by the system to think that way also. Okay? Because everyone is out here trying to get your mind to make you a clientele to whatever they are offering. But I'm pointing you to look within yourself. And the very people who are speaking against the Bible, they are actually quoting from the Bible and they are referring back to the Bible. But I'm showing you that the only thing that went wrong is when they misinterpret the Bible to you and interpret the Bible to you as literal and a secular history and have you looking outwardly. But I'm pointing you to look inwardly. Okay, that's why I'm going to read just 2 verses of a scripture for you to show you how important it is to understand the mind and how the mind works and why it's important to reprogram your subconscious mind and why you shouldn't be conformed, but you must be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So in this Bible, I'm reading from, let me see, page 278, okay, it'll be page 278, and I'm reading from the book of Romans, okay, and I'm reading Romans verses 5 and 6, I might go on to 7, also, or 8, okay, I'll see where the Spirit will lead me. It says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. So, when people don't understand how the mind works and they are in their ego self, which is of the flesh, their carnal mind, and they get trapped in conformity, that's the way they would think, and that's the vibration, the frequency that they would be on, because energy will always flow where your thinking goes. Okay, energy flows. Okay, he said, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So you can think about the things that are temporal, the things that are physical, or you can think about the things that are spiritual and the things that are limitless. So the choice is yours. So your real self is your divine self. Therefore, it is wise for you to live from inside out. Therefore, you must understand how the mind works. and be responsible for your thoughts and your actions. Okay? So, spiritually minded people are people who really realize that they are spirit and they're having a human experience, and that the Bible is teaching you exactly that. Okay? But you have to understand it a certain way, and it must be interpreted to you a certain way by those who have been initiated into the mysteries, not by those who are speaking to you from an intellectual standpoint, those who have had experience, those who are witnesses. Okay? He said, for to be carnally minded is death. So you can be a living dead when you're living just based on the five senses and you're living in intellectualism and you are trapped in the matrix in terms of the way you think. He said, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. You're definitely going to come into peace, joy, happiness, and contentment when you get into your higher self, your spiritual self, your God self. You see, as I always say, because we are living in an information age, there are many people who have access to information and they're just repeating or regurgitating things. And so if you're born of that seed, that is the life that you will bring forth also. That is why it's very important to know where you're getting your spiritual food from or who. Okay? And I'm not saying this to downgrade anyone, but when you have experience and you know that you're speaking from experience, and you can listen to others and know that they're not speaking from experience, you can know, well, this person is just a historian. This person is telling you believe this, believe, but they're not telling you who write those books either. Okay? They tell you, oh, Kemet is it, this, that. Who wrote those books? They're not telling you that. Okay? But I'm telling you based from my experience, and I would have experienced all these things. They're talking about the Egyptians and talking about mummies and so on. And the resurrection, and those are experiences that I would have experienced. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me just read verses 7 and 8. He said, because the carnal mind is enmity against God. You're going against your higher self, your true self. For it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. And the law of God is the law of liberty, is the law of peace. It is the law that teaches you how to tap into your creativity and use your ability for the upliftment of all of humanity, because you realize that the kingdom of God is within you and that God and man are one. And you know this through experience, the experience of being born again, the experience of having the birth from the skull. And I can say that because I've had that experience. Let me end here in verses 8 by saying, so then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God. And so, by your faith, we would know, because you produce a certain work. And to please God is to actually please your higher self, your true self, is to tap into your purpose and your calling, and to live life based on you discovering who you are and using your inner power to achieve your every desire and being of benefit to the rest of humanity. So my brothers, my sisters, if you should take anything away from this, I'm saying to you that you have to have full control of your mind, because that is your richest resource. That is your greatest and most powerful resource. And that is why you have a choice. And that is why no one can have a thought for you, and you cannot have a thought for someone else. Everyone on this planet have been given that power, but you have to learn to take control of that power. And if you have given it away in the past, I'm saying to you, take back your power. But you have to learn to unlearn and relearn, and be willing to reprogram your subconscious mind. And as I come to a close, I want to say that based on my experience with dealing with people, the hardest thing is to break people out of intellectualism. The false education that we all receive as a child, it's hard to break people out of that kind of reasoning and that kind of way of thinking, where people believe that they really know something because they read it or they would have heard someone say something about it. That is why this message is something that is practical, is something that you have to put to work in your life. You have to practice meditation, visualization, positive inner talking, mirror work, scripting, and all the other rituals, okay, in your life to really prove what I am saying on one level, or on a certain level, I should say. But when it comes to the awakening of the birth from the skull, that's a whole nother level of itself. So there are different levels to this. So my brother, my sisters, take note and be mindful that you have to take control of your mind. Stop giving your mind away to the matrix. And that is why those in the 1% is controlling the masses, because they're giving their minds away and they have no concept of the love mentalism. They have no concept about how the mind works. So with that being said, my brother, my sisters, I just want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me, and what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you and really resonates with you and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram, I like to follow me on TikTok, you can follow me at BlackMadGuru. And you can also follow me at rumble.com at BlackMadGuru. Also, I have prepared a $20 course for you on my Patreon. It's already uploaded. It's called The Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And it's all about the inner sun that is within you, that inner light that is within you. That one day it would arise within you, according to Malachi 4:2. And according to Psalm 84:11, you will realize that the Lord thy God is a sun, a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing what he withhold from you. You would realize that the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. And you would realize that righteousness and true healing is from within, and it's a realization. It's a discovery that takes place within. So it is quite personal. Also, I have a bonus course there for you on self-concept, and I'm planning on doing a part 2 on self-concept for you. And this is to show you how important it is for you to have the right perspective of yourself. You must have the right concept of yourself. And what they want to do is erase the concept that you hold about yourself in terms of how you came here with certain mental faculties and how you are in charge of your life. They want you to totally forget about that, so they keep you so busy and you won't even have time for yourself to do anything for yourself. You get trapped in the rat race. So my brothers and sisters, if you're strongly to listen to those videos, I'll definitely encourage you to do so. But before I come to an end here, I want to say to you, if you feel strongly led to support this work, I just want to remind you that we have a PayPal and that the link is always down below. So that being said, my brothers and my sisters, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.